Okay. All right, here's the unit Gary just brought in. And we'll go over a few of the things with this. Basically, this is the main meat and potatoes of the unit. This is the operating part of it. You'll see a lot of different controls here, and I'm not certain what they all are, but some of them are volume control, squelch control, and then some way of programming this in. And they'll get to that educational part of that. You'll notice an antenna here. One of the things that they also are working on is shortening that antenna somewhat so you got a little more clearance.
You can shorten the guy too, Jace.
Yeah, that's true. You could have a shorter radio man than what Gary is. On this side, you'll see what looks like just regular car battery cables, but what in actuality what they are is an ability, if this unit does lose power through the batteries, it's internal batteries, you'll be able to, the idea was to get to a vehicle or a car?
Yeah, they say that I should probably carry a halogen, and what I could do is actually commandeer a vehicle and plug into it and get juice back.
Yeah, so that's what that's for. You know, and I know you guys are looking at a lot of this, and this is crazy and insane, but, you know, once we started working with it, it was pretty user-friendly, wasn't it?
I thought it was very user-friendly. I enjoyed working with it.
Well. Here you'll see they've attached a glow stick. It's just for identification that this is the radio man or radio person coming in, and it's just another added feature of safety. Also on this side in the pouch you have what looks like one of the old brick phones, but in actuality what this is capable of doing, if you need to send a crew member forward away from your location, maybe upstairs somewhere else, you can just deploy this to the crew member and he'll be able to contact back to you with using this. So it's a nice feature that's in here. Your speakers does a couple things. The radio person will have earphones on. He'll hear all the transmissions. But one of the nice things is just operating around this unit, we'll be able to hear any of the transmissions coming or going. So it was a nice added feature that Leif and those guys thought about, and I know they've traveled around the country looking at all the things. What you see here is a compile of all of the issues with 800 megahertz across the nation, and this is the unit itself that they've come up with. In this pouch you'll see another radio here. It has a mic that hangs over the main unit. It comes back down like this, and this will be able to contact different agencies. Once we all get on the 800 megahertz network, this will be able to contact all of your S agencies like DPS, APS, GPS, any of those kinds of things you'll be able to contact through this. Also, hospitals. We actually, the other day, messed around. I don't think it was intentional. We got a hold of
Pat Grimes over feedback on his trucking business. He's doing fine. He wanted everyone to know. And you talked to some of our service soldiers over in Afghanistan.
Yeah, it was. I don't think it was intended for that, but that just shows you the
power
that this thing has. We were able to get some of that. And I think Leif and the guys are working on some of those issues of a bleed over. So basically, that's what you're seeing on the back end of this unit. And what do you think this weighs, Gary?
Well over 100 pounds. I'm getting pretty tired right now.
Yeah. So
it's heavy, Jace.
Is it? Well, that's something else that technology will address at some point. So with this, we'll go ahead and, Gary, why don't you turn around for a second? And this is where the rubber meets the road. This is where the operating part of this unit is. And you'll notice here that there's a lot of mics across a bandolero-style holder here. And basically, you know, and it is true what Gary said. It's a shorter guy in the back would be able to reach those knobs if he was a shorter radio man. But a guy using this like Gary, if you notice, he's got a natural shelf here that will display these radios. So if you've got a guy that can eat quite a bit, you've got these radios right presentable for you. So
yeah, I think my stomach helps hold them up so I can see.
Exactly.
One thing you gotta let everyone know, you always start with your left hand. This will always be the command mic.
That's right.
As you work across, all the way to this far one is Lark.
That's it.
So in between, and I don't know all of them yet, I'm still learning them, these are sectors, and it goes on. Rub your hands and come across, and you'll feel them. You don't even have to look. You can touch them.
So in a smoke-filled environment, you don't need this eyesight.
I won't go in a fire, Jace.
Well,
the radio guy will never, this can only take 300 degrees.
I see. So what is the communication challenge then once the crew goes inside? What's the system?
I have what they call a wire wheel back here. You didn't see it, it's hidden. I can hook you up to a portable mic. You can go into over 300 feet with this thing, and you won't have a problem. Now that cord's rated for 5,000 degrees, so you don't have nothing to worry about.
See, and that's the kind of thought that Leif and the guys have put into this.
So there's so much thought. Just playing with it that week, I just enjoyed it.
Exactly.
Thoroughly. You just got to work your way across.
Basically, I think command, so you're always, with the left hand, go to your right side. And that'll be command, that'll be your tactical channel. And then it'll come down to emergency traffic, maydays, and so on, right on down. If you had a really bad situation, you have the capability or possibility of all of your crew members coming up right into this area here and being able to talk, all 4 guys will be able to talk right here.
It's a quick release. If you notice, if you take 2 hands, pull it. Always replace it to the, they're going to number both of these because it'll get confusing for some people.
Yeah.
I haven't had too many problems.
Yeah. So at this point I want to show you, we're going to go ahead and activate and key this up. At all times you need to, there was some concern about the vitreous humor in your eyeball being affected by a lot of the gamma and alpha and mega rays. So before I key this up, you need to constantly have safety glasses on whenever operating this thing. And one of the other ideas here too is that if I'm in an interior position, well, the union's going to appreciate this a lot because we actually need to get a 5th man.
It'll take another man.
And
you're forgetting something else, the radio person, not radio man, remember. We need to find, he can carry the tick for the captain, and I brought a tick along in case you want to see how that works out with the radio person.
That's good, and we'll show how the tick operates. But basically, as a company officer in an interior position, what I would say is for the radio man to come forward. He needs to be near my side at all times. And I'll just demonstrate the command mic here. If you can't get it unclipped, that's okay, because you can still get right into this area. And then just, I'm going to go ahead and depress it. Wow, that took some of the lighting out of the building. I don't know if that's a technical.
A lot of power.
So I depress this, and I'll talk into this area here like this. And I'm constantly with the radio man.
The radio man can help him, too, by holding his balance.
I know a lot of you guys are wondering how this all works in correlation. There's a lot of tasks being put on us. We also have the thermal imaging camera, and we want to get that out of the company's officer's hands when he's not using it. And rather than some of these crazy straps you guys have come up with, what we have here is a tick unit, and Gary came up with a very simple but basic thing on the tick. And you know, if I'm the captain, I'll have to move over this way, and I'm using this, and the radio man always stays next to the company officer, or he stays near him. Sometimes if it's a fire under 300 degrees, we'll have him right here. But I'm operating the tick, and now let me get this turned around because this is the right way here. Okay, and I'm operating the tick, and I'm looking and searching, and at this point, I don't need to use it anymore. I have a task level thing to do. I can hand this thing off to Gary, and Gary, you developed this strap where you get it up over.
You got to get it up over that
shoulder there.
And with this hand, I will push it back, and it's not in the way of anything.
And again, the thought that's gone into this, if I'm in here and we're in a trouble, we're talking on the radio, I can get this tick camera right in this area where we can talk and look at the same time and give a good CAN report on conditions, actions, and needs that we both may need at this point. So that's just another thing that's been well thought out in this entire system.